should give your life to, the enemy says to you. And so for many of us, we may have started in the church, we may have started as these good people, but suddenly we reach teenagers, or suddenly we experience something in our lives, and suddenly we realize, we say, how can there be a God if I'm experiencing all this pain and suffering? How can there be a God if what I see around me doesn't look good? The enemy begins to lie to you. He begins to twist your life. He begins to tell you your life isn't what it turned out to be. And so many of us will begin to leave God like Adam and Eve. He tells us, taste something else. Why don't you just abandon God? Why don't you take life in your own hands? And so Adam and Eve decides we're going to live lives away from God. We're going to be our own God. There is a famous statement that we all make. It's my life, and I can do whatever I want to do with it. That's exactly what Adam has said. It's my life, and I can do whatever I want to do with it. And so they took hold of their life and decided to disobey God's commandment. The commandment was simple. You can eat. Listen to this. God creates a perfect world. He puts them in the most beautiful garden with all the provision necessary. He tells Adam and Eve, you can eat everything. You can live as much as you want, however you want. But there's only one thing I want you not to do, and that is to eat from the knowledge of good and evil. That was the simple commandment. The perfect world that God created, the provision that God made. He said just one thing, Adam and Eve, you should not do, which is to eat from the knowledge, listen, the knowledge of good and evil. Adam decided, I need this knowledge. There is another knowledge away from God. Perhaps God is lying to us. Perhaps there is something else I need to know. That's what happens to you and I. We get older, we get wiser, and suddenly we think we can have life without God. We suddenly think there is another knowledge, there is another way of living life away from God. And so Adam and Eve decided whether to pursue this life. And so they ate from the knowledge of good and evil. The Bible said as soon as they ate, their eyes were open. Their eyes were open, and then they knew they were naked.